just have a block handy, just have it kind of like the top left, let's go top left. But to start off, we're going to start off in a really nice child's pose. So for child's pose, just bring your knees whatever width you want to bring them today. If your hips are feeling slightly tighter, you can bring them further in. And we're just going to walk our hands out, bringing our forehead down to rest on the mat. And just like with every class, I just invite you for the first couple of breaths, just take any small movements you need to. Take any size, just so you can really sink yourself down to the mat and be super present. And I just want you to start to just slightly count your inhales and your exhales. So the first couple of rounds, just counting naturally the length of your inhale and your exhale. And then just gradually making them slightly longer. And if you have any intention that you wish to set for class this evening, you're welcome to start to think about that. One thing I invite you to maybe bring into your thoughts is this idea of building ourselves up. We're working towards a pose in practice that isn't the end goal. The journey that we're taking towards that pose is a lot more important than the pose itself. So just trusting in the journey that your body's taking you on at the minute. Just ensuring with every inhale you're utilising all the space that your lungs take up, feeling your belly start to swell out, your collarbones lift up. Ensuring every exhale is relieving tension somewhere in your body. And then just taking one more round of breath, making this your longest inhale and your longest exhale. And then whenever you're finished with that exhale, just slowly pulling your hands up, just coming to sit in coming to sit in your heels, spinning your palms up towards the ceiling, closing down your eyes, letting your shoulder blades just melt down your back. And then just flickering the eyes open, bringing your knees together, and we're just going to talk through our hands for a minute. So we're going to be doing a bit of work on our hands and our wrists. So there's a couple of key things I just want to talk about when we're doing anything on our hands and our wrists. So there's kind of three main things I want to talk about. So whenever you're doing anything on your hands, it's important that the weight distribution in your hands goes into the area between your index finger and your thumb. So you've got this nice meaty part here. This is really, really strong. So if you're ever coming into anything on your hands, think about the weight coming into that bit of your the palm of your hand, so close down to the bottom of your wrist. So if you ever feel your hand rolling out onto the pinky fingers, you'll feel it's not very stable. So keeping everything onto that nice meaty part. Another thing, we talk in yoga about that there's locks in the body, okay? I don't need to go into too much in detail into it. But there's basically, we talk about there being a lock with our hands. So if you want to just bring your hands down for the mat at the minute, bring your hands down to the mat with fingers really, really wide. And then imagine you can suction cup your the palm of your hand up. And you might feel then that your fingertips start to claw into the mat and your fingers will go white. And you'll feel really, really strong. So keeping your hand there, sending your weight into that nice meaty part in your thumb. And then we're going to bring it up to our shoulders. So imagining with your right hand, you could twist your hand out to the right and left hand twist your hand out to the left. And with that, you'll see that the creases of your elbows and your biceps come forward. your shoulder joint then becomes really, really stable. So when we talk in yoga about wrapping your arms in, this is what we mean. So we've got our arms wrapped in, we've got our weight onto our thumbs, and we've got this idea of our hands, as if we could claw our hand off the mat. So you're giving yourself a really strong foundation here. And it's really safe in our wrists. So while we're here, we're just going to start to do some wrist work. So just starting to do little circles with our torso. Feeling the weight in our wrists. So you might feel it come onto your pinky finger, that's fine, just for this warm up, and then changing direction. So we're going to come back to this pose in which we're on our hands throughout practice. So just keeping those 3 key things with you. And then flipping your fingers so they're back towards your knees. So keeping your hands nice and wide, and then just letting your weight just shift slightly back. We don't want to peel the palms of the hands off just yet. And then picking up your hands, then setting them just further than shoulder width apart. And we're just going to slide from side to side, keeping our arms nice and straight. So just warming up the wrist joint, just getting it used to having a little bit of weight on it. And then bringing your hands back to the mat. We're actually going to turn so that the palms of our hands are going to face up towards our face, and our fingers are down, our fingers are pointing back towards our knee, and then really, really gently sending our weight back. So tiny, tiny movements in the body, stretching into our wrists. And then just sinking our heels back, and then just circling that out, maybe doing a few waves, just easing that off. And then coming up, back up to our tabletop, so immediately hands go down to the mat. Think of those 3 things, so gripping the mat, shoulder blades are wrapping, weight to the inside of our thumb. And we're going to come into some cat-cow. So here we're going to talk about our protracting and our retracting of our shoulder blades. So we're going to retract our shoulder blades as we drop our tummy down, shoulder blades come together, gaze lifts, coming into our cow pose here. And then through your full inhale, slowly pushing the ground away, tailbone tucked under, coming into your cat pose. So this is protracting the shoulder blades away from one another. And exhale for your full exhale into your cow. Then full inhale into your cat, and feeling that your tailbone tuck under. And then with your exhale, feeling your tailbone being sent away. Doing one more round of those with using your full breath, so moving really slowly, keeping those arms and those wrists nice and stable, opening your chest up. And then just coming through to a neutral here. So we want to have some core activation. So one way to just feel our core activate is literally just to go ha, and you'll feel your core catch. So just have a little ha to yourself and you'll feel your core catch there. And we're going to come into some scap dips. So all we're going to do is literally protract and retract the shoulder blades. We're not going to be doing a full cat-cow here. So on an inhale, we're literally going to drop our chest down as our shoulder blades come together. And then exhale, we're going to push it away. Just like you're doing mini press-ups. So inhale, keeping those arms nice and straight, letting your chest drop down. Then exhale, pushing it away. Inhale to retract the shoulder blades together. Then exhale, keeping the arms straight, pushing them away, puffing them up. Then we're going to lift our right leg back behind us. So we're going to come into crunches here. So before we come into our crunches, what we want to think about is our knee coming towards our nose. And the way to facilitate that is we want to shorten the distance. So to shorten the distance, that's where we're going to protract our shoulder blades. So really puff up that space between our back. So reaching our right leg behind us. Inhale there, then exhale, bringing our knee into our nose, puffing up that space in our shoulder blades. And then reaching out in your exhale. Bringing the knee to the nose, reaching back. Then one more time, knee up to your nose, really pushing that ground away. Bringing it back, and then placing your knee back down into your tabletop. And then doing the same on the other side. So the left foot's going to come behind us, and your leg is going to move in a straight line here. So then crunching that knee into your nose, and then reaching away. And you'll feel your core just start to light up the closer you bring that knee in. So when you think you can't bring that knee in anymore, just one little tiny more push. And then reach away, bringing your knees back down, and we're just going to ease that off with a quick melting heart pose, reaching your hands forward, hips up to the ceiling, letting our head drop down. Taking a couple of breaths here. Maybe you felt little quivers in your core as we started to light things up. And slowly making your way back to tabletop, just picking up your feet, coming to step to the front of our mat, coming into our forward fold here. So feet are hip width distance apart, and you can grab opposite elbow if you wish, and just sway from side to side, just as you start to open up those hamstrings a little bit. Then in your next inhale, just sweeping the arms up, coming up to standing. Then exhale, bringing your hands back through the heart center. This time, inhale, as we sweep our arms up, we start to rise off our heels, so we're coming to stand on our tiptoes. Then exhale, lowering our feet back down, lowering our hands down. Doing that 3 more times. Inhale to reach up, stand on our tiptoes, squeeze your legs in. Then exhale, lowering it down. Inhale, rise the hands up, lift up to your tiptoes. Then exhale to release. Keeping your feet flat on the ground this time. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Then exhale, sending your hips back and down, just coming into our chair pose here. Your tailbone's going to tuck under, pulling your belly towards your spine. Weight is going into our heels. Then mixing up slightly, shifting the weight into our toes, coming to rise onto our tippy toes in our chair pose. Then exhale to forward fold. Inhaling, halfway lift, flat back, reach through the side body, and exhale to forward fold. Inhale to reach the arms up. Then exhale, hands are going to come through to center. We're going to do some hip adduction work. So to adduct means to bring everything in towards the body. So you might know those machines in the gym where you can like bring your legs in and out. They look not very nice. So we're just going to bring our hands onto our hips. Grounding down through our left foot, we're going to reach our right leg up in front. We're going to lift our right leg out to the side. And then even bring your right hand even to the side of your glute. And then exhale, you're going to bring that little right foot in towards your body. So adducting towards your left leg. Floating it back out to the side. Then bringing it into the left leg, squeezing it in. Then letting it float back out to the side. And then adducting it in towards your body. Then dropping that foot down. And then same on the left hand side. I want to focus on this idea if you're squeezing it in. So we talked about those isometric contractions, so your body working with it to create strength. Just bring your hands on your hips, like I said, bring your left hand just to the side of your glute there. So float it out to the left hand side and then squeeze it in to the middle. Float out to the left, squeeze it to the middle, float it out to the left, squeeze it to the middle, bring your foot back down onto the earth. Inhale to reach those arms up, then exhale coming back down into our chair pose. And that idea of squeeze them in while you're in your chair pose. And then we're going to come up onto our toes, then exhale and dropping the toes back down. Inhale, come up onto our toes, exhale to drop them down. One more time, keeping your balance, you're doing great. Inhale up onto your toes, then exhale, drop them down, come into your forward fold. And just if your block is there, just have it so it's on the right hand side. We're going to inhale to halfway lift, then exhale, step our right foot back, drop our knee down, coming into our low lunge, tailbones tucked under. Inhale to sweep up, exhale to settle into the pose. Reaching out to the side waist here. Then, if you wish, you can use a block, and then if you can reach the ground, you can take it away. We're going to bring a block to the inside edge of our left foot. We're going to place our left hand onto that block. Now, if this feels anything on your right leg that's a bit dodgy, you can just angle your right leg so it's kind of parallel with the back of your mat, or you can keep it as it is. So your top of your arm is going to make connection with your knee. And I want you to think about your knee and your arm squeezing in together as we reach our chest open to the right hand side. So this isometric contraction of your knee pushing into your arm, arm pushing into your knee. Taking one more breath there. Then exhale, bringing our right hand wide off the mat, reaching our left arm up. And this right hand is nice and stable on the ground. So think about those three things we talked at the start of class. So wrapping the shoulder in, our suction cup, and sending our weight into that base of our thumb. So think about the shoulder rolling back. Taking one more breath there. Then exhaling, bringing our hands down to frame our front foot. Now, we're going to do this with our block. So you're going to bring your block right in front of your left toes. And you're going to bring your hands onto that block. We're going to pick up our back knees. So we're in a runner's lunge here. You're going to push your hands into the block so much. You're going to engage your core, but your belly button spine, that you can lift your left foot off the ground. So your left foot is hovering. Hover it, hover it, hover it. Then send it back. Place your hands off the block. Come into your plank. So magnetize your pubic bone to your sternum. Think about those nice strong arms. We're going to pick up our left leg here. And then we're going to exhale. We're going to crunch it in. Think about protracting those shoulder blades. Hold it there. Really strong. Then send our left foot back. Keep that nice core engagement as we drop to our knees. And then bending the elbows, keeping them close to the body. We're going to lower for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Great. Untuck the toes. Roll the chin and the chest forward. Open to your cobra. Exhale it back down. We're going to do that 2 more times for cobra. So roll your nose forward and up. This time we're retracting the shoulder blades back down. Then inhale, roll your chin and your chest forward. Squeeze those elbows in. Then exhale back down. Pushing onto your knees and then pushing back into your child's pose. Just taking a couple of breaths there. Embracing any of those little muscle quivers that came up for you. And then coming back onto your knees, looking to the top of your mat, just picking up your back knees, stepping forward into your forward fold. Inhaling to halfway lift, exhale, forward fold. Inhaling to sweep our arms up, and exhale, dropping our hips back and down, coming into that chair pose. And we're going to come up to our toes again 3 times. So inhale, come up to your toes, squeeze those legs in, then exhale to drop them back down. Inhale, come up to your toes, exhale back down. Inhaling up to your toes, exhale back down, coming into your forward fold. Keeping your block nice and handy. Inhale to halfway lift, then exhale, hands to the ground, stepping your left foot back, drop your left knee down. Inhale into your low lunge. So right knee back, left hip forward, squaring off your hips. You need to bring your hands down to your hips to make sure they're doing that you can. It's quite good sometimes just to add a bit of tactileness to it. Then bringing our block to the inside edge of our right foot. Now if you felt like you didn't need it on the left hand side, or was it the left hand side? Yeah, it was. Then that's absolutely fine. Then we're going to bring our hand down to our block or down to the ground and then peeling our heart open to the left hand side. So opening through our chest here. Squeezing our right leg into our right tricep while our right tricep resists. So you might feel little muscle shakes. That means you're doing it right. Then placing our left arm off the mat. Before we even lift this right hand, I want you to think about that placement of your hand. Think about the 3 things we talked about. Get it nice and strong and stable. Shoulder doesn't roll in on itself. Then we open our chest out to the right. One more breath there. Then exhale, bring your hands down to frame our front foot. Placing our block just in front of our right toe so that our hands can come on top of the block. If it needs to be up higher and you can do it and it's nice and secure, that's fine. Picking up our back foot, so we're in our runner's lunge and our hands are on the block. We're going to push our hands into the block so much, we're going to puff up that space between our shoulder blades that we can hover our right foot off the mat. Keep it there. Then send it back into your plank. Just bring your hands off the block, just set it off to the front of the mat. Wrapping those shoulders in, pulling belly button to spine. Then picking up that right foot, then exhale, crunching in, curling up to your upper back. Squeeze it in a little bit more. Then send your foot back, drop to your knees if you wish. We're going to come down for the count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Then coming into an exalted cobra this time, so fingertips are wide off the mat, they're going to face forward, elbows are up in the air. Inhaling, roll your chin and your chest forward. Ground those feet down. Exhale, coming back to the mat. Legs really heavy as you push them into the mat to help you rise up. Back down. And roll the chin and chest forward. Nice long neck. Exhale, come down. Hands underneath shoulders, pushing back to your child's pose. Just taking a couple of breaths there. Coming back to the intention that you maybe set at class, or this idea of having to take yourself through a journey in order to maybe learn new things. And knowing that the end of the journey is not always where you want to go, but the enjoyment of being on it as well. Taking one more long breath here. And then just walking your hands back to your knees. We're just going to curtsy our feet just over to the left hand side so we come to sit on our bum. And then we're going to lie all the way down on the mat. We're going to straighten our left leg away from us. And we're going to bring our right knee into our chest. So just hold your right knee there in towards your chest, so get it there. And then you're going to let go with your left hand, reach your right arm so that it's on the outside edge of your left knee. So it should be able to make contact there. Once your right arm has made contact, just like we did in our side angle, I want you to think about pushing your knee into your arm, arm back into your knee. Really push it and you'll start to feel something lighten up in your core. Take one more breath. Then exhale, you're going to reach your right leg straight, right arm overhead, just find a little stretch. Then inhale, we're going to crunch it in again, pushing your arm into your leg. Stay for the exhale. Take another inhale. Then exhale to stretch it out. Then bring it back in. Stay for the exhale, really push it in. Stay for the inhale. Then exhale, reach it out. Placing your arm and your leg back down on the mat. So feeling that contraction of your leg against your hand, letting your tummy muscles really light up. Now hugging your left knee in towards your chest, just with both hands, just so you can get it there. Then bringing your right arm back down to the mat. Your outside of your left knee is going to come to the inside of your left arm. Now if it's at your elbow joint, just move it down a bit so it's at your forearm. And then we're going to squeeze the arm and leg against each other. And then exhale, reach it out just to straighten it out. Then bring it back in, squeeze it there. Stay for an exhale. Stay for an inhale. Then reach it out. Last time, bring it in. Bring your knee as close as you can. And then exhale to release. And bringing both knees into your chest. And just making a couple of circles with your knees just to massage out your low back there. So feeling those deep core stabilizers start to light up. And then just taking a couple of rocks and rolls along your spine. Just make your way to the front of the mat. You're going to bring your feet so they're wider than hip width, and we're just going to point them at an angle. We're going to come down into our malasana, so into our yogic squat here. So hands are going to come together at heart center. Your elbows are going to come to the outside of your knees, and you're going to use your elbows to push your knees away. Just taking a couple of breaths there, letting your glutes and your hips become really heavy. Then exhaling to forward fold. Walk your feet back in so that they're hip width. And we're going to take our block. And you're going to place your block maybe the same distance of your foot in front of your foot, if that makes sense. So let's pretend your foot's 6 inches. You're going to put the block 6 inches in front of your foot. You're going to bring your hands onto the block. So as soon as your hands touch the block, I know it maybe isn't covering a big surface area, but this is just because quite often we can't reach the ground. If you can reach the ground, you're welcome to do that. So as soon as your hands touch the block, thinking about those 3 key actions. So sucking up of the palm of your hand, weight distribution, our nice stable shoulders. We're going to pull our belly button to our spine. And then we're just going to slightly tip our weight forward, come up to our tippy toes, let the weight go into our hands, puffing up the space between our shoulder blades, protracting the shoulder blades, then exhale to rock back. Inhale, rock forward, push the block into the mat, feel your upper back arch, belly to spine, then exhale back down. I'm going to do that one more time. Just thinking about all those actions we talked about in class. Then exhaling to release, just sending your block over to the side, and coming back down to sit on your mat. Then we're going to come back down onto our back. And we're going to do that same action of our arms to our inner legs, but we're going to do it for both legs this time. We're just going to do it 3 times in total. So just bringing your knees in towards your chest. Your arms are going to go to the inside of your legs. So like I said, if your knees are at your elbows, just bring it slightly down throughout your forearms. And I want you to think about really curling into this, maybe even lifting your hips slightly off the mat. Arms are going to come in between your legs, and then we're going to push our arms against our legs, legs against our arms. Hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then release. We're going to do that one more time. So even lifting your hips slightly off, bringing your arms to the inside of your legs, making contact, then resisting for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and exhale. Let it go. Just taking some nice circles with your knees. And taking some light rolls along our spine as we come to a nice forward fold at the front of the mat. Then walking our feet hip width, we're going to come back down into that malasana. So think about malasana as a seesaw. So as your hips come down, your chest should come further up. Hands to heart center, pushing those knees away. Keeping our chest nice and proud. Feeling those legs to the outside edges of our arms. Taking one more breath, then exhaling to forward fold. We're going to grab our block again. If you can place your hands on the mat, and if that feels slightly more comfortable, even if you need to have a deep bend in your legs, that's fine. So I'm just going to place my hands on the mat. So your hands should be nice, should be shoulder width apart here. So spreading your fingers really, really wide. Lifting up through the palm of your hand, your fingertips should go wide, sending the weight into your into kind of your thumb joint. And we're going to do the same thing again. So pulling your tummy up, puffing up the space between your shoulder blades. We're going to rock forward, hold it. And if you want, maybe just pick your right foot up. Then exhale, come back to center. Inhale, rock forward, belly button to spine. On your tippy toes, if you want, maybe lift your left foot. Then place it back down, come back through the centre. One more time. Roll it forward, high on your tippy toes, feel the weight distribution in your hand. Push the ground away. Then exhale, come back forward. Just let your wrists go, even grab opposite elbows and just sway in your forward fold. Bringing our hands back down to the mat, pushing into your feet. Inhale to rise up. Exhale, hands through the heart center. Inhale, rise your hands up. Exhale, hinge at the waist. Forward fold. Inhaling to halfway lift. Exhaling, hands to the ground. Nice stable foundation. Step your left foot back, then you meet your right foot. Stay in your plank or drop to your knees. Inhale, shift your weight forward, belly to spine. Exhale, lowering all the way down to the mat. Untucking your toes, and then just bringing your elbows directly underneath your shoulders. You should be able to just about touch your elbows with your hands. Rolling our shoulders back. So this time we're coming into retraction with our shoulders. Nice long neck here. And if that's tight in your lower back, you can just broaden the space between your legs. Just coming into our Sphinx pose for a couple of breaths. Taking one more breath there. Then exhale, lowering down to the mat, placing our hands under our shoulders. If you brought your feet wider, just bring them hip width. Then just pushing up into our tabletop, and then we're just going to walk our hands back. So we're sitting, walk our hands up back so that our hips are above our what's that called? Our knees. We're going to reach that right arm up. Left hand is just going to come to the base of your back, and we're going to reach our right arm up. Just coming into a slight back bend here. Then exhale, come through the center. Right hand to the bottom of your back, left hand's going to reach up, coming into a little back bend. Then exhale, come through the center. We're going to do that 2 more times on each side. So you can stay with your hands just at the low back, or if you want, you can bring your hands just to your heels. So if you want to bring your hands to your heels, you can come with me. So place your left hand onto your heels, so toes should be tucked. Inhale, reach that right arm up to the sky. We're just going to hold it for an extra breath here. Keep sending those hips forward. Keeping your hips as much as you can over your knees. And exhale, coming through the center. Right hand onto your heel, left arm's going to reach up. And just bring your gaze wherever is comfortable. Imagine someone's got a fishing hook behind your belly button. They're pulling you forward. Then coming through the center one more time on each side. Left hand to your heel, reach that right arm up, and you can bring it even back overhead if you want to get an extra stretch along that right side body. Then coming through the center, and then last on the right hand side, left hand side. And coming through the center, just bringing your hands to your hips, just stabilizing here for a second before untucking your toes, dropping your hips back. Spin your palms up to the ceiling and just close down your eyes. Take some nice breaths here. And then just curtsying your feet just over to one side, just coming to sit down on your bum. You're going to bring your left leg is going to come out at an angle to your body. Your right sole of your right foot is just going to come to the inside edge of your left leg. And if you want to grab your block, you can have it handy there. We're going to inhale to reach up. And then we're going to turn over, so our torso is going to go across our left leg here. We want to keep this still quite active. So really reach up, find length in your side body, and then not caving in on ourselves, keeping our back nice and straight, folding over that left leg while really grounding our right hip down to the earth. And then just bringing our hands down to the earth. So if the ground's quite far away and you want to just bring a block maybe onto your leg, you can do that. I want to keep our chest nice and broad here, so sending our shoulders away from one another. So like I said, not curling in on ourselves. Keeping our right hip nice and heavy. So we start to stretch into that lower right corner of our back, while also getting a little something something along the back of our left leg. And just keeping our gaze nice and neutral here, so keeping our head in line with our spine. So we don't want to be lifting our chest, our chin too high, dropping it down, just keeping it in line with the vertebrae of our spine. Taking one more breath. Exhale, walking our hands back through. Then just swapping that up, so right leg's going to come out, left foot, sway your left foot to the inside edge of our right foot. This time turning our torso over our right leg, reaching our arms up, grounding those hips down, then folding over that right leg, keeping that length in our side waist, and just taking it to as far as we comfortably can before setting our hands down. So as you know, like you did on the other side, we're going to be holding this for maybe about 5 or 6 breaths, just taking this within a limit that you know you can hold. If you want to increase the stretch along the back of your legs, you can flex your toes back towards your knees. And slowly walking your hands back through to center. We're just going to bring, keeping your right leg straight, just bringing it so that's in front of your body, so it's no longer at an angle. Taking your left foot, just placing your left foot to the outside edge of your right knee, so outer right knee and the pinky toe of your left foot. Holding onto your knee, just find yourself a nice tall position here. Then with your right arm, we're just going to hug that left knee into our body. We haven't done too many twists in class, just being gentle on your back here, making sure you're finding nice length in your body before exhaling into your twist, pulling your tummy button in and up to find that space. Keep sending your shoulders away from one another. So by using it as like as hugging our leg in, you should be finding a nice opening all along your right scapula. And making sure our shoulders aren't coming up to our ears. One more breath here. And exhale just to uncurl out of that. If you want to take a quick twist out to the right just to neutralize that. And then swapping it up. So left leg straight, pinky toe to the outside edge of your left knee. Getting a nice proud stance here before we wrap our left arm around our knee. Keeping your head nice and proud and twisting out to the right. Just bringing your right hand wherever's comfortable. And just slightly resisting your left arm with your right knee here, so you can really get a nice stretch all on the top of your back. Maybe down into your lats a little bit. Taking one more breath there. And exhale. Just coming through the center, just taking that small counter twist out to the other side. And then just shuffling yourself down, just coming to lie on your mat, having your block nice and handy. We're just going to come into a nice happy baby pose. So if you want to just grab even behind your thighs, if grabbing your feet isn't there for you today, that's fine. So soles of your feet up towards the ceiling, knees are coming down towards the earth. Knees are pulling away from each other, and your tailbones coming down towards the ground, and just letting the weight of your arms do the work here. So not actively pulling anything, just letting gravity allow your body to open and stretch. We're just going to come into a quick hamstring stretch here. So you're going to bend your left knee, so your left heel is going to come in towards your bum, and that should facilitate a little bit more space so you can just start to straighten out through that right leg. You don't want to completely lock out that knee. So deep bend the left leg, nice straightening action going on in the right leg. Keep flexing those toes. Feeling a nice stretch from your Achilles all the way down to your glutes. And then just swapping up, so rebending your right leg nice and deeply as you slowly open your left leg out to the side. And then coming back through the center, just coming back through to your happy baby for a breath or two. And then just releasing your feet down to the mat, just having your block nice and handy. Feet are flat on the mat, still hip width distance. On an inhale, we're going to lift our hips up towards the ceiling, and then just grabbing your book or your block, whatever's handy, and just popping it underneath your back, just popping them on your sacrum. So there's a nice bit at the very bottom of your back just before you get to your bum. And we're going to reach our arms overhead. And I've used this expression before, but just as if you were literally sunbathing, so just drape your arms behind you so that your palms are spinning up towards the ceiling. I don't think sunbathing is a Sanskrit word, but we're going to use it anyway. Just so that the backs of our arms are flat on the ground. Palms are up to the ceiling. And letting that block take our weight, so really letting those hips sink into that block. A nice supported bridge. Maybe softening the gaze or closing down the eyes. You're welcome to stay here, because I know a lot of people find this quite restorative, so you're welcome to stay here for your Savasana. Or if you want to come to a more traditional Savasana, or I'll offer another alternative, you can push your feet into the ground, just slide that block from underneath. So you can straighten your legs, or another alternative, if you have a slight tight back, is just walk your feet so that they're mat width distance, and then turn your toes in to face one another and lock your knees in together. And then just bring your arms wherever is comfortable, so if you want to keep them overhead or down by your side, on your belly, on your chest. It's your Savasana, it's your practice, it's your rest, so just rest however your body wants to rest tonight. And just before you fully shut down, I want you to just take a nice deep breath. Fill up all that space. If you have your hand on your belly, fill up that whole space where your deep core was working tonight. Fill it up, fill it up. And then exhale out a sigh, let it all go. Come to relax on your mat. Just find some stillness, find some peace. Don't attach any thoughts to anything. Just find your rest.